Here it never rains in Los Angeles. Here it never rains in Los Angeles. Here it never rains in Los Angeles. Here it never rains in Los Angeles.
Hello from Nibiru, Ireland. Monday morning. And the date today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days, the 30th of April, coming to the end of a very interesting month. The start of the month, snow. Now the end of the month, heat wave. Heat wave last week, then winter again up to Friday. I was working all weekend, so I didn't have time to do videos, and I decided that instead of doing videos for the weekend, what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of research. And I want to thank a guy over in Silicon Valley, just let's say, that type of business, called Adam, believe it or not. I spoke to Adam on Friday. I'm doing some business with him. AI business. That's all I'll say. Okay, and Adam, you know who you are. And I was on the phone to Adam for about 2 hours, 10 minutes from a technology company. Adam, I have to say, you're the first person that I've ever spoke to in great detail. And your ear must have been born in you, because he's the first guy. I was gobsmacked with the things that he came out with. He went into great detail about certain things that I was at the studying myself, and he explained to me all about that he's a truther as well, and to speak to somebody on the phone that does the same thing as you. Okay, now he hasn't got a YouTube channel, but what he does know is that, I think he knows by the numbers on the videos about the censorship and about not being able to say what you want to say. He's told me that in the past he's come out and said things to his family and friends about all this chemtrails and everything else, geoengineering, that people laugh at him. Do you understand? He sent me a video link of the head of the CIA speaking about it. And, you know, it's unfortunate that it's not part of the conversation, if that makes sense, because people look and walk the other way the minute you start talking about chemtrails. But the minute you start talking about the Tooth Fairy and the leprechauns, it's like, well, we know who they are. Even though they don't exist, people know what they are. Do you understand? They know what the Tooth Fairy is, and people know what Santa Claus is, and people know what the leprechauns are. But it's you know, people don't look at you twice when you mention it, because it's not real, but it is real. Does that make sense? But when you mention the word chemtrails, now you're into it. You know, you're into a different world now. This is like another solar system somewhere else. That, as I said, it's like talking about UFOs and aliens. It's like, you know, 50% of people are on the fence about UFOs and aliens as well. Okay, that I can't understand why there's 50%, let's say, of people that don't actually believe there's another life somewhere else. And people are convinced that we are the only life. So I hope in my lifetime that changes, and there is some sort of communication with the outside world, okay? And someone does contact us that has this technology that's much more advanced than us, okay? And shuts up to 50% of the people. Because then that 50% could be the same 50% that don't believe in chemtrails, don't believe in God, don't believe in anything. They just go around not believing in nothing, okay? And it's a shit life to live if you don't believe in anything. So, I was told that there's a God. God created heaven, earth, and everything else, okay? So anyway, this guy Adam decided to tell me all about the chemtrails, and you know, these are top guys like Buzz Aldrin talking about going to the moon, and you know, it's more fake than anything else. But I had a girl in the car the other day from the K Club going to the airport. She does voiceovers on different programs on television, and you know, we started speaking about 9/11. Something came up about 9/11, and then I start going into it. And then she says, "Oh, you must be a conspiracy theorist, are you?" I says, no, I live in the real world, and I like to be open-minded. I said, I wouldn't call it a conspiracy theorist at all. She says, oh, well, yeah, you probably believe in she says to me, you probably believe in chemtrails. I said, what makes you say that? Oh, she says, I live in Las Vegas, and my husband is a pilot. She says, I says, right. Well, she says, that's only water vapour that you're seeing in the sky. Now, I never mentioned that about chemtrails to her, and it's a pity that I wasn't recording her on the iPad, because it'd be a shock to listen to her. I never mentioned that about chemtrails, nothing. Didn't even bring her up in the conversation. Yeah, we were talking about 9/11, and then the planes, and then I says, oh, well, I wouldn't be surprised if they were brought down. And then, you know, typical American says to me, and I don't mean to be bad about all Americans here, but, you know, she turns around and says to me, oh, well, the Twin Towers was a terrible thing to happen, terrorists coming over like that. And I'm thinking to myself, what other way were they going to get all the American soldiers to go and fight a war without something like that happening? Do you understand? They have to do something spectacular to get everybody behind them to go to war. So I says to her, so the chemtrails that's coming out the back of the planes then, what are they? Oh, that's just water vapour. Now, she's professional on the whole thing, because her husband told her. Just water vapour. So I turned around and says to her, I'd love to meet that guy that invented airplanes to fly on water. Yeah, I didn't realise that was the fuel, you know, water. I know you can drink it when you're thirsty. I didn't think you could fill an airplane with water, switch on the engine, take off and land, and then fill it again with another. So I says, all the tankers, I says, them fuel tankers are full of water already. Don't be so stupid, she says to me. I said, no, I says, hang on a second, hang on. I says, put a little bit of concrete, I says, mix around your point here, it says, right? Do you understand? Put a little bit of concrete around it, I says to her. I said, now, say that to me again. There's water vapour coming out of the jets, the white stuff that you see in the sky, all them white lines, it says to her, right? Okay, white lines. I says, that's just water vapour. That's right. And how do you know that? Because did your husband get underneath the plane and take a sample of that when he was flying? Because I tell you, he must be some pilot to be able to do that. What did he do? Climb down where the wheels are and just put a little, like a piece of plastic, a plastic cup out, and just gather some of it and bring it down to the local scientist when he lands? No. So just because someone tells you so, do you believe everything you read in the newspaper then, do you? Yeah. And you believe that my mate is a pilot as well, and he had to sign a disclosure when he became a pilot for Ryanair in Dublin. Yeah, believe it or not, a disclaimer saying that certain things you don't speak about. Okay, and we leave it at that. As I said to you on an old video before, I sat down with this guy at a funeral, and I asked him, and then he starts looking up to heaven because we're not educated on it. Okay, and they're making the crisscross patterns and dimming down the planet and causing all these problems, okay, with direct illnesses like dementia, like we spoke about, like Alzheimer's, okay, like all kids that have autism. Do you understand? You have to understand that these things are created, okay? They come out during the summer, don't they, and tell everybody, oh, it's going to be a bad hay fever day today. So that's it. Just because they come out and tell you it's a bad hay fever day, everyone starts sneezing and coughing all of a sudden that day. But see, you understand what hay fever is, don't you? You understand what the flu is, don't you? You understand all these little words because you were taught them in school. Yeah. Look, you have to understand, sometimes, and I'm going to be probably doing it more often than before, okay? I left the video up for 4 days running, till today, for a reason. And I know at the start of the conversation it says I was just busy. No, I did have time to do the videos, yeah. But I wanted to let AI play with me. So what I done for the 4 days is nothing. I researched, and then I decided that I'd put the video together today. So there's nothing happening at the moment, so now is the time everyone should sort of sit up, because the quiet time is the worst time for me. It's like there's something big going to happen. There's nothing happening at the moment, but I put on the news, it's like they're trying to make up the news today. You know, they're digging up old news and putting it up, and you know, there's nothing happening. So things aren't right around the world as far as I can see, and going in and looking at different news. So that's where we're going to wrap it up. That's Monday's bullshit news for today. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we like to put a little bit of bullshit news together every Monday, as you know, because just to keep everybody on their toes. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your Monday. All the best, and remember, see ya.
We are the future.